Joining me in studio once again is Simon Chelugui. He's the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Irrigation. Once again, sir, thank you very much for making time for us here on KTN News Desk. But even before we get into that, I would like you to begin with a status update on the Solai Patel Dam tragedy. We've just seen a conversation about the compensation and the noise being made. Could you kindly address that?
Thank you very much. We have, first is to correct the new government structure as assigned us the responsibility of water and sanitation. Irrigation now is under Ministry of Agriculture. So we're dealing with water and sanitation. We are known now as water and sanitation. Now going back to Solai, it's unfortunate. I still continue to pass my condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, the responsible ministry for dams, license permits, and regulation and control. We are sorry. It's unfortunate that what happened happened. We lost lives. Kenyans lost their lives, and massive damage on property and human life. Secondly, the position of compensation and beneficiaries of the same, I think it's too early, because even on our side, we have not finalized the technical assessment and the final collaboration of all the information regarding the dam construction and management. So we gave ourselves 2 weeks after burial of those who passed on during that incident. And so as we speak now, we haven't reached. What we have been doing is emergency support in terms of food, in terms of camping facilities, medical care, psychological care, and even securing of the victims or those who are displaced. We have been, schools, their churches, their houses, businesses which were washed away. And those are the activities that the government and Red Cross, the multi-sectoral teamwork that has been happening on the ground. I did visit the site after the incident happened immediately, and I also attended the funeral last week when the president attended and the deputy president.
Any updates on the investigations on the Patel Dam?
Currently, our teams are still on the ground, and they are still collaborating and putting together information right from the county government level, the county level where we have officers in Nakuru, region and sub-region, and our ministry staff from headquarters. So I will await their feedback to be able to make a statement.
Well, this is not the only dam that seems to be putting lives in danger. We saw another one in Korea. But generally, with the heavy rains that are being experienced in the country and the status of some of the dams we have in the country, what is your ministry doing about that? Immediately
after, when you'll realize that we are experiencing unprecedented amount of rainfall right now. Those sides of Solai, parts of Aberdare, Mount Kenya, and parts of Nakuru, the western. In fact, there was an alert from the Meteorological Department. And even myself, the Minister for Energy and the Minister for Devolution and Special Programs, we issued an alert about a week ago that the water level in the Seven Forks have risen to the highest level it has ever been in the last 37 years. So we received heavy rains. Because of that, most of our dams and ponds are also old. And some of them are silted, some of them have damaged embankments. And so because of this, some of them have yielded to this pressure because of the heavy impounded water. Now, what we did immediately is to send a team out to collect or to really confirm how many dams are listed, whether the records we have commensurate with the records that are there in the field. And these teams went round We have given them a week to deliver that report so that we can get an initial assessment of the status of these dams. Those which can be rehabilitated and restored, we can do that. Those that need to be condemned, we condemn them. Today, I think you've seen in the papers, then WARMA, or the Water Resource Management Authority, have issued an alert or a notice, to the members of the public. Anybody who owns or operates a dam must come back to the ministry, that is WARMA, to reapply, so that during that process of reapplication, we are able to establish the status of this dam. This happens, there are dams in Kuria, most of them are very old. There are dams in Makueni, where about 18 of them breached during this season. And so some of them are posing a serious threat and risk to lives. And for us as government is to alert, because our interest is to protect lives. Our interest is to protect property. That is and enforce also all regulation and all the laws that relates to dam construction and management.
Okay. So speaking of dams and heavy rains, a status on Ndakaini Dam?
Yes. This question I've answered well and a lot of... I visited Ndakaini...
I visited attracting a lot of public interest.
I visited Ndakaini last week together with the Senate Committee on Water and Environment. And I want to confirm to you that Ndakaini, there is no cause of alarm. I want to appeal to tell Kenyans there should be no reason at all to panic. We've checked, there are no leakages, not an outlet, leakages on the dam. The sensors placed in the dam to check any leakage, because any leakage is a signal for is an alarm to us. And we would need immediately to alert anybody living downstream. Because you can imagine the size of Ndakaini is holding 70 million liters of water. 70 billion liters of water. So it's big. It needs, we need two seasons of rain to fill that dam. Now, what has happened and how it happens in Ndakaini is, those who designed this dam preferred using river water, which is coming out of a spring to feed into Ndakaini, other than the storm water. So Kenyans, of course, will be shocked, there's a paradox. The water, there's too much floods and water flowing in all our roads, our waterways. But the dam is not filling up. Why? What is happening? Now, this, when it rains, normally the pattern starts like this. It moves from lower plains of Kakuzi, Muranga, and then it moves towards Maragua, and finally by end of April, there is evidence in Gigumo and also Kandara, where this dam receives its river flows. Now, those rivers require time. You remember we have had 2 years of drought, so the aquifers were completely depleted. So this rain was recharging, going down, seeping through the soils and aquifers and filling up. Now, water is flowing at the highest level ever recorded, at 9 meters cubed per second. So every day, as at yesterday, we were at 73%. Today, I expect the dam to be at 75% because we are recharging, or we are refilling that dam at the rate of 2% per day. So there is a lot of inflow from the 3 rivers.
So no cause for alarm from what you
There is no cause of alarm. By 2 weeks from now, that dam will be overflowing.
Okay, we will be looking out for that. But even with the kind of heavy rains and flooding that are being experienced in the country and the launch of RRI, there seems to be a cycle of floods and drought. I want to believe this is one of the things that your ministry or your sector is planning on working on in the next 100 days. Tell us about that.
Yes, of course, 100 days is not short and it's not long. And water works take time to build, to design, to build and commission if we have to do a good job. Now, in the 100 days that we have given ourselves, we want to fast-track all our activities. One of our activities is to give water service to Kenyans. As you are aware, Kenya is now, our statistics, every year, we carry out a baseline survey before the National Water Day. And last year, when we carried out the water survey, our coverage was at 60%. And now we want to move from 60% to 80% as a target that was set out by the government in 2002. And also, we are also following the SDG goals and also the United Nations targets. And we envisage that by 2030, all Kenyans will have water. Now, the programs we are beginning to do today is just to set a pace, to set a rhythm, to set a speed on how we can achieve that goal. In the 100 days, we're going to do the following. We have new projects which have outstanding logistical issues to start breaking ground. We have projects ongoing, which to some extent they have delayed or for any reason or the other. We want to iron out all the bureaucracies, all the challenges, all the issues that delay or slow down this work so that we create a momentum of completing and working on these projects. And we have projects which have been finished, outstanding, maybe 1 or 2 items to hand over, because we want Kenyans to start benefiting from these investments. That is one activity that we'll do in the 100 days. And we have lined up a number of them from Nairobi and almost 26 counties in Kenya. So we will be out there in the field, as the President directed yesterday. We'll be out of our offices, right in the field, to ensure these things are seen. Some of the projects are big. Like Karimenu Dam is a big project. This is a 24 billion project. It has been ready for the last 1 year. What has been outstanding is the land issue, compensating the owners of the land so that the contractor can move in. We have mobilized the contractor, but we need to engage NLC and the owners of the land so that within that 100 days, we are able to break ground to construct Karimenu, which is going to give Nairobians and Ruiru and Thika 70 million liters of water per day. We have other projects like commissioning of Mwache Dam, which will address the water challenges in Mombasa. We have projects in Komodhai. We have some which have been ready in Chemosusu. In 100 days, water will be in Eldama Ravine. And there's a section which is not yet complete because of the same issues of land and way leaves, which we will need to sort out. And we connect the water supply to the people of Eldama Ravine. There are other projects that are ongoing, like Northern Collector Tunnel. When I came to office, we were at 20%. We have been able to push, and we are now at 42%. In the last 3 months, we have increased by 20%. We are targeting within the 100 days, we should be able to hit 60% in tunneling by introducing additional shafts so that we have, instead of 3 driveways, we have 8 driveways to tunnel, to do the tunnel. So that by December this year, we should have the tunnel Northern Collector ready, and that will give Nairobians additional 140 meters cube of water. That is the plan that we have. The other one is legal and institutional reforms. The Water Act 2016 gave us the mandate to oversee the water resource management in Kenya. And some of the bodies need to transform in mandate and also in structure. And so we have National Water Corporation, which will transform to National Water Harvesting Authority. They will be charged with the responsibility of managing dams and construction of dams in Kenya. WARMA will translate to WRA. Their job will be enhanced to include conservation, protection of catchment areas, management of waterways, and management of the water sources, and also the quality of our water, so that anybody who discharges effluent in our rivers is liable, and these are the enforcers of the same. The other one is the Waters Trust Fund, which is the pro-poor. We want to increase our support for the pro-poor using Water Trust Fund. The third one on the RRI is a water sector corporate image. That old image of just the plumber, the pipe, and all this, that we move towards this this universal water coverage. When we talk about water, we will want to combine our efforts together with our image, and also with the use of ICT for results. And finally, monitoring and evaluation of our activities, so that what gets measured gets done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, do you honestly believe that this will cushion Kenyans from dry taps, drought, once you're probably done with this project?
We may not deliver 100% in the 100 days, but we will set, as I said before, we will set a pace, rallying everybody within the water sector towards achieving wet taps at the end of the day. Remember, we are at 60%. With these 100 days, we believe we will be adding at least 1% to 2% additional water supply in our system. That is a target, that is the target we have for 100 days, but we want to push it so that when we achieve a certain momentum of working, we can now replicate the same momentum in the next 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years, 3 years, when we get to 80%, and maybe 100% by 2020. So we are setting a foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
The water infrastructure, especially in areas like Nairobi that are densely populated, and many areas in this city experience dry taps, sometimes because the infrastructure is not efficient. So how are you working towards this?
Our system in Nairobi were installed in 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. And the biggest investment done in Nairobi was done last in 1985. However, through the Water Service Board, which is the waterworks or the authority in charge of Nairobi, Kiambu, and part of Murang'a, has been investing continuously in improvement of infrastructure in Nairobi. For example, we now have a line from Mudiru, ongoing works from Mudiru to Karen. Karen has been surviving through drilling of boreholes and lack of conventional wastewater system. Today, we also have a line moving from Kigiri all the way to the airport. We are supporting the Kajiado export processing zone using lines extended from Nairobi City jurisdiction. Also, on the sewer lines, you've also experienced, although right now we have reduced the bursting of pipes because we have a big, elaborate infrastructure investment on trunk sewers across the city. What is missing is the laterals to feed into those trunk lines. So what my ministry through the Water Service Board has tendered out for expression of interest to do sewer connection in the east of Nairobi, and that is ongoing. The other challenges, other than just the local and city water works, the biggest challenge that we face in Nairobi is the shortage. What we have right now is a limited installed capacity, which can only give us 526,000 meters cube per day, as opposed to 770,000 meters cube of water per day. So we have a shortfall. So our pipes, our pumps, our storage, our dams can only give us 526. So whatever we do, we are limited by the infrastructure in place. So we are now investing in the sources and continuously investing on the pipeline.
Okay. So even as we talk about these mega projects that the Water and Sanitation Ministry has currently, there has also been a conversation about Kenyans' behavior, especially when it comes to how they use water, how they harvest water. I mean, is this something that concerns you as a cabinet secretary?
Yes, not as a cabinet secretary, as a Kenyan, and also as a resident of Nairobi, as a user of water, and now as a man in charge of water in Kenya. And I don't know how to come up with a policy. I wish I could have an opportunity to control behaviors even at the household level. Because I was saying somewhere else, you find, even in some of the adverts that you run, you would find there's a fellow who is singing in a bathroom with a soap all over his body, and he's singing around the bathroom, and water is flowing. And this is treated water. This is water which has been transferred. We have invested a lot of money to store that water, to protect the catchment, store the water, pipe the water up to his household. And now he's pouring the same water and he's enjoying himself singing. I've seen people, if you walk through the city, every Saturday, you'll find a lot of people washing pavements and washing vehicles using the same treated water. This is a very bad behavior. It should be condemned. they should know what it means to get that water to that place. What we need to do is to change that behavior. If we need to wash vehicles, if we need to wash pavements, we have so much water, even this one running. We can collect water from our roofs. We can harvest water from our roofs and use it for cleaning, cleaning our clothes, cleaning our pavement, cleaning our houses, so that we only use this clean water for domestic use and for human, and maybe industrial, if we need clean water. Like if you are cooking oil, you're involved in a bakery, you need water. This is the best way to use this water. So that behavior should be condemned. And I want to appeal to you and everybody else who is using water in Nairobi to really have a cultural change. It is very expensive. We invest so much money to just come and use the same water to wash pavements in town. All
right, thank you very much. Right away to end it. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on KTN News. Someone Chelugui is the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Sanitation, just outlining some of the projects that are under the Rapid Results Initiative that was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta. And of course, in 100 days, we'll have you here to tell us what would have happened in the 3 months period.
Yes.
That's how we wind up that conversation. I want us to take a quick break. We still have a lot more Landa for you. Remember, Moses Wahisi will also be coming in at 2:30 with sports news, so don't go too far.